Welcome to the 1572 Chef Show. No, I'm not Julia Childs, but we're going to go there today. We're going to make Renaissance beer bread. I have my flour, my yeast, and my salt already measured out. It's in this bowl here. We're just going to dump it in there. And we're going to do a cup and a fifth of beer. You can choose any beer that you want. I have chosen Guinness. You might need a touch yeasty, a little bit more yeasty beer. I'm having trouble with my dough rising, so you might need just a little bit touch yeastier beer. And what you want to do is nuke this for about 30 seconds so that your beer is nice and warm, it cozies up with your yeast, and makes it want to rise. So I'm just going to pop this in a microwave. And you can use any store-bought active yeast, but you're only going to use about a teaspoon of it, and then a teaspoon and a half of your salt, and you've got 4 cups of your flour. Now the flour, the whole wheat flour doesn't rise as well as white flour does. But if you were back in the Renaissance days, you wouldn't have access to white flour unless you were one of the nobility. So most of the peasants used whole wheat flour. But if you want to get a little bit more lift to your bread, you're more than welcome to use half and half of the whole wheat and half of the white. All right, this is nice and toasty. I'm just going to pour this right on in over my mixture. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get this to where it's nice and flaky and holding together, and then we'll knead it out on the counter. We're just squishing it together, getting it pulled together. Now, whole wheat is thirsty, so you might need to give it a little extra drink of beer to get it to hold together, get the elasticity that you're looking for in bread dough. So that's just an eyeball thing. Once you see what you're looking at, you can add a little bit more. If you get too much beer, add a little bit more flour. Bread's forgiving. Well, it's nice and flaky, but not really coming together in a ball yet. So I am going to end up giving it that little extra drink. You see here, a little bit more beer. Here, you can have just a little bit more beer. Okay. Let's see if they'll hold together now. So we are looking for a little bit of a wet dough, not compressed. All right, that's holding together well enough. I can knead this out on the counter now. And you want to give this about 10 minutes of kneading love. Just knead it until you get that good elasticity that you're looking for. All right. This is nicely kneaded. I'm going to put it in a bowl, and I'm going to cover it with a tea towel or a paper towel. All right. And I have an oven that I turned on for about 5 minutes, and then I turned back off and let it cool off sufficiently so it was like 85 degrees. So I'm just going to stick this in here and let that rest for 45 minutes. And then we've got one that has been resting for 45 minutes. So we're just going to bring this out, and when you're looking for your dough to be doubled in size, about like so, and we're going to punch it down and then let it rise again. So we're going to take our dough, we're going to punch it down, and we're going to let it rise for another 45 minutes. All right. After he has risen another 45 minutes for the second time, what you're going to do, you're going to take your dough that has risen to about twice its size that you started out with. You're going to score the top of it and throw them in the oven. I'm going to give him a nice X, just like so. And then we'll pop them in the oven. You want your temperature set at the highest possible setting of your oven. It's going to stay that way for 10 minutes, and then you're going to lower the temperature down to bread baking temperature of 350. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes, so I know to lower my temperature. So our Renaissance beer bread is out of the oven. It's a little bit dark, but to test that it's done, you want to flip it over, and you want to tap the bottom, and you want it to sound a little hollow. You know, kind of like your best watermelon. There you go. That's nice and done. So all we have to do is just slice into it. It's going to be dense, dark, and yummy. Alright, there you go. That is really dense, really dark, nice and steamy. So this is definitely a heavy, dense Renaissance bread. It would have been made for dunking into soups and things like that. So it is, the outside is going to be hard. The crust is, the inside is going to be very dense. This was meant to be the majority of the meal. There was little meat, little potatoes, vegetables, that sort of thing. This would have been most of the meal. So this had to get them through. So it is what it is. It is Renaissance beer bread.